Hey everyone, this is Chris and Isaac with Craftsman Wealth Management. We're continuing on with our little series that we've been working on, getting to know Craftsman. Now on the other ones, if you've already gotten an opportunity to watch those, you've seen Isaac interview myself and PJ and kind of pick on us. And PJ and I decided it was time for a little role reversal so we can pick back and kind of throw Isaac under the microscope a little bit. So we're going to do 3 parts to this. The first one's going to be, kind of his upbringing, that kind of stuff. The second one, if you don't know this, Isaac's got a great athletic career, and PJ's going to be talking to him about that. That's actually how they met, which is an interesting story in itself. And then the third one, we're going to talk about how all those experiences really turned you into who you are today and how that affects all of the people that we work with. Cool?
Yeah.
Are you ready to get started?
Sure.
Okay, so you ready? All right.
Proceed.
You grew up in a bunch of different places. So I know you were in Florida, you were in Georgia, and you were in Kentucky. So tell me about that. Oh, you were in Alabama. See, I didn't even know that.
Even better.
Right?
Really classy state.
Okay. So talk to, and I know there was a lot of farming involved.
Yeah.
So talk to us about what kind of farming you did, that kind of stuff in all those different states. And why did y'all move around so much?
Yeah, so Dad, when he married my mom, he was in Florida. They met in Ocala, Florida.
Okay.
And so they basically, Dad at the time was farming for the state of Florida. So
for the government, okay.
Yeah, for the state.
All right.
And doing different stuff with crops and like testing out different things and kind of doing research and that kind of thing. So when he married Mom, he was kind of partly already transitioning to running a missionary training center in Alabama. So I was in Florida for a very short while. I was born in Ocala. That's why I'm a Gators fan. Chris is a poor Volunteers fan. It's really tough.
A little heartburn all of a sudden.
Yeah, I understand that. So at any rate, moved to Alabama, Dad ran a missionary training center until I was 3, and then we moved to the Dominican Republic as missionaries until I was 5. Dad grew up on the farm, wanted to raise us on the farm. So before I started kindergarten, before I started any school of any public education,
right,
he made sure we were back in the States, and we were going to learn hard work and stuff on the farm. So long story short, Georgia, Dad, we had chicken houses. So all the farming we did growing up was basically we grew chickens for Tyson Foods and non-organic chickens. In case anybody's
So these were not free-range, cage-free type birds.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Like PJ and I, when we go to the gym, would be like the organic chickens. We're not very puffed up.
I could make
that
so
kind
many
of
comments.
Yeah,
there.
you know what I mean. Like we're lean. That kind of thing. We're not lifting a lot of heavy weight.
Right.
These chickens were the beast chickens. All right. Non-naturally so, but. Hey,
hormones and GMOs.
We were
and all
helping.
that stuff,
we
right?
were helping feed America.
Okay.
So, and that started out in Georgia, and then we moved to Western Kentucky, and started out with 2 chicken houses, maybe 10,000 birds total. To by the time we stopped, we were at 250,000 birds every 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
That just sounds like an awful lot of work.
All kinds of fun stories. Dad let us get all kinds of stuff on the just on the property, and fantastic time growing up.
All right, so interesting transition there then. Obviously you're working on a chicken farm. You're also living in that environment, which is has a big impact on you. What was the biggest or the most important lesson that you learned from working and living on in a farming environment?
I think most people would agree that hard work is a big part of that. So Dad paid us for a labor growing up. He paid us $10 an hour the whole time we were working, and we saved it. Not much you can spend that kind of money on, when you're 10 years old, 12 years old, right? So, also as a byproduct of that, we learned how to save, and Dad opened investment accounts for us early. But we learned, how to earn money, learned how to save money, learned how to give money. So that was really cool. And then how to do things together, as a family. Like we all did different things. Like as we were getting older, Dad let us do more stuff with farm equipment and all that, but a lot of it initially was just kind of tagging along with Dad and all that. So relationships, working relationships, even if they're your family, those sometimes can be the hardest things to manage. And obviously as kids, a lot of times necessary things happening with the farm being busier at certain times than others, it meant that we couldn't do fun things that we thought Dad was being very selfish to not allow us to do, when it's just part of being a family and
Part of working on a farm.
Being farmers. Yeah. This is part of it. So we learned hard work. We learned all that stuff. We also learned that, I learned entrepreneurship from that because Dad, it wasn't like my whole upbringing. Dad had 250,000 birds every 3 months, right? Started out really small and scaled. So I learned incremental improvement and progress in a business basically through my whole childhood. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool. All right, so last question I want to talk about on this subject. What were the biggest takeaways that you had from each of your parents as you were growing up?
So Dad is 100% drive. Dad is very driven, and he just does things because he's going to do things. So I guess drive, and my wife would say stubbornness.
Right.
That's how it's embodied in her.
Would you use a different adjective other than stubbornness?
Yeah, so drive.
Okay.
Determination, all those little positive words.
Determination, that's a much better sounding.
but Dad said he was going to raise us on the farm, and that's how he plotted it out, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So, I have that, drive to succeed and all that from him. Mom was really cool because she was just very, simple and joyful. So I think I get my kind of jovialness and my general spirit about being happy and appreciating things from my mom. Yeah. Dad was always pretty harsh, disciplinary and all that kind of stuff. Mom was just always having a good time. No matter what life circumstance was going on, Mom just had a good time. And I definitely picked that up.
That's awesome. Sounds like you had a pretty good life growing up, great family life.
Yeah, that's what I would say now. Sometimes growing up when
Didn't feel like it then.
Yeah, sometimes, you're I'd rather be doing other things, but I think it, I've largely picked up really positive qualities from it.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Well, thanks, Isaac. Appreciate it. That's our first segment. We'll be back later. PJ is going to come in here, and he's going to pick on Isaac, and he's going to talk about athletics. And we want to know a little bit more about what that career looked like.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks.